If you're selling like books or courses or whatever e-commerce solutions, it doesn't like matter what you're trying to sell through Google Ads. Is step one is actually really narrowing down to people who have a proven history of buying the exact kinds of things you sell. First thing I look at is, are there gurus and influencers who sell courses, trainings, masterminds? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Frankie here, and I wanted to put together something awesome for you guys to show you how we're getting 5-cent buyer leads on YouTube. And this is something you guys can like kind of swipe and deploy in your own Google Ads account. There is a little bit of setup required, but if you're willing to spend just a little bit of extra time prepping, what you'll find is like there are so many hidden cheap traffic opportunities in this platform. And I'll go ahead and just spoil the surprise. The secret is something we're doing called buyer micro-targeting using the side door, and I'll explain to you in a second what that is in just a minute. So this is our own Google Ads account. I've got 2 of them. You can see last 30 days or so at the time of recording this. We've had about 15,000 clicks. We've been seen about 4 million times. We're getting clicks, and these are from buyers. You'll see like these are not just random people clicking on our ads. They're people who have a proven history of buying what we sell. And also the cost for that we've spent is about $1,800 or $800. We could actually spend way more, but it's more like I'm actually at capacity. I got 3 kids, multiple businesses, and like the ads we're running are stupid simple. I'll show you what these look like in a minute, but they're just like 60-second, like what I call hand raiser ads. And the question everybody asks me more than anything is, are these converting? And the answer is like gangbusters. So I want to show you guys kind of the deeper methodology. What I want to show you guys is the strategy behind it, not just how to click the buttons in Google Ads, because even if the platform changes around, if they move a button or update or change a targeting option, at the end of the day, like this is like super advanced stuff that is going to work for a long time. And I'll tell you, the most practical use that you're going to find of it is, if you guys, those of you guys who do business to business, to go get yourself Google Ads clients, for those of you guys who run ads for other people. Having said that, though, this methodology is pretty airtight. It will work in business to consumer. It will work really like any way you want to apply it. I just want to take 30 seconds real quick, tell you guys who I am, because a lot of you guys don't know who I am already. By the way, my name's Frankie Finn. For those of you guys don't know, I wrote this book here, Beyond the Agency Box, which you can find on Amazon, and got some nice reviews on there. I've also helped quite a few folks to hit this magic number, the $100,000 per month in digital marketing businesses, have big average client value. This is Justin doing 416K. It doesn't suck when you do that. And also, even when I put out free trainings like this, it's always amazing to me. Like people go and close deal. Here's Ali saying like, I got a $20,000 deal, no phone call. He's got 4 more in the pipeline. This is Matt. Just closed my first 2K client using Loom. That's something we'll talk about towards the end. Sam watched this video like 5 times, put together a little 5-minute video. Have my new client. I got a video I can use over and over. This is Oral, who went from brand new niche, breaking into dentist, to getting his first clients, and now has a waiting list. Where did that go? My cats are destroying stuff behind me. This is Brian saying clients are sticking with us. I wanted to highlight the part, like this is a big specialty of ours, is like getting clients, no meetings, no hassle, no fuss, those kind of things. So firstly, I want to show you guys the deeper idea behind what these YouTube ads really are, because if you understand the deeper idea, you won't be dependent on me to like hold your hand and click all the buttons, but you'll actually like understand like a deeper level strategy that works. And so this was a game changer for me. I'm going to read you guys some. This is a guy named Jim Straw, who was an almost billionaire in the 1950s, which is the equivalent of like 20-30 billion today. And he wrote some old reports. And this is one of the ones that when I really got this idea, it was a game changer for me. And this is kind of the secret behind the targeting. He says, you can be a millionaire. Do you really want to be a millionaire? Almost everybody says yes, yes, yes to that question. Then they go around chasing something to sell. I receive literally hundreds of emails each month asking me, where can I find products to sell? Where can I find drop shippers? Where can I find wholesale sources? Their goal, of course, is to make money, but they're going about it backwards. You can have 1,000 different products to sell, but if you don't have any buyers, you're not going to make any money. So instead of looking for something to sell, focus on finding buyers, That is the real secret to success in business. Without buyers, you won't make any money. All your efforts at finding products to sell will be a wasted effort. Don't even think about looking for a seller until you have a buyer at hand. Look around you. Sellers are everywhere, on every street corner in every town across the country, and they're all hoping and praying for more buyers for their goods or services. As a matter of pure fact, almost every seller will gladly pay you a commission or fee if you can bring them a real buyer. Beyond that, when you have the buyers, the sellers will contact you. Ask any retailer how many salespeople or sellers call on their stores each week. The retailer doesn't have to go looking for sellers. The retailers have buyers, so the sellers go looking for them. I personally receive over 100 offers every week from sellers wanting me to sell their products or services to my buyers. Why do you think all of the internet marketing gurus put so much emphasis on building your email list? They know, as I do, that 100 buyers are worth more than 1,000 sellers. So this is the secret, is we're like really hyper narrowly targeting the people we know are buyers. And I made this point the other day in one of our Facebook groups. I was saying, how many books do you own? And almost anybody who answered that question, their answer was not one. Anybody who buys books, buys lots of books. I'm sure lots of you guys are like that. Or buys courses. You probably buy lots of courses, right? Like my brother does not buy books, does not buy courses, does not read any of those things. His number is 0. And so if you're selling like books or courses or whatever, e-commerce solutions, it doesn't like matter what you're trying to sell through Google Ads, is step one is actually really narrowing down to people who have a proven history of buying the exact kinds of things you sell. So it's like if you have a business or marketing book, you want to put it in front of someone like me. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me just stop the screen share a little bit, but you guys can see like there's books there. I buy a lot of books, right? So, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. So if you're selling, you want to put your stuff in front of people that are proven to buy it. It sounds so simple, but I think more people get caught up in the question of like, how do I sell my stuff? What do I say? What's got to be on the landing page? What's got to be on the ad and the creative? And those things are important. But if you can narrowly hyper target the buyers, this is what we find is like, and all these clicks, by the way, like all 15,000 of them are coming from people who buy. Okay. So I want you guys to understand that. So this is a concept like to really illustrate this point. And I mentioned the most practical application will be for those of you guys who are trying to sell Google ad services. Having said that, you can take this idea and run with it anywhere. Is what most people do when they're trying to sell like Google ads is they contact people that I call barefoot, meaning they don't spend on advertising. And it makes logical sense because Google ads is the thing that would help them. And it's counterintuitive, but you actually want to sell your stuff to people who have a closet full of shoes, 200 pairs of shoes. Because if you do this, you'll get in front of people who buy it. There's always a reason why somebody with a closet full of shoes needs more new shoes. They might need dancing shoes. They might need hiking shoes. The basketball shoes might have worn out. They may not have a nice pair that matches that dress they're trying to do. So like, there's always a reason. And what most people do is the opposite, is they chase people who are barefoot, who have no history of buying the kinds of things you sell, and therefore create this uphill. So this is what we're doing in YouTube ads. And I'll show you how to set up the campaigns and stuff in just a second. But what we're doing is we are hyper targeting buyers, people who are not only like can spend money, but do spend money right now today. So the other secret of this is something I call the side door. So the front door is like on Google ads, we all know there's like really obvious ways to get in front of somebody. So like in my industry, like if I'm trying to bid for attorneys, which is, you know, we've run a lot of campaigns over the years for attorneys. If I run keywords like SEO for lawyers or law firm web design or personal injury lawyer, SEO, and best law firm, those keywords are like 20, 30, 40 bucks for a click. One click. So you got to like really have quite a big budget to be able to make that work. And I know a lot of you guys either don't have big budgets, and even of those of you guys who do, like who wants to spend a big budget if you don't have to? So this is something I started obsessing about called the side door. And I noticed in my niche, and I want you guys to like understand this deeper idea. If I bid on like personal injury stuff, like I said, it's 30, 40 bucks a click. Or my clients, by the way, experience the same thing where if they bid on personal injury lawyer Seattle, it's probably like $200 for one click. And yet, if you bid on that same person at another stage of the journey, what happens is, like, let's say they're searching for somebody to repair their car. It might cost you pennies compared to get them at that stage of the journey. So this is what I call the side door. And it's the idea that who buys dinner, and it's people who go to shows, and who buys shows, it's people who go to dinner. They're not different people, right? So often if you have a show, then you just advertise, hey, we have a show for sale. But sometimes what happens is those keywords are really fucking expensive. And you can't like attack them from the direct, obvious like show angle. And sometimes you have to advertise your show to people currently at dinner. Now, I want to tell you, this is something I first observed in real life. I would go to a lot of lawyer conferences and we put them on in person. And I would find the lawyers who would spend like $2,000, $3,000 for a ticket would come to the event and they would buy 5 or 10 other things there. Not only would they pay for plane tickets and hotels, but they might take a hiring service. They might try a phone answering service. They might try TikTok ads. They might come away with a new SEO company. So they would buy other things in succession, often like 5 or 10 things together, like dinner and a show, right? Like there would be purchases that got made together. So this is like a funny example of it, right? This person searched World of Warcraft, and this is old school Google ads when they used to have them on the side, but it says, are you a male virgin? And so what I want to show you guys is like, there's obvious, like sometimes you can talk to the same person in a different stage of the journey. So this is an example of one side door, and I'll show you guys the whole side door methodology. It's a little bit of upfront work, but I'm going to make it nice and easy for you guys, show you some tools that'll make your life easier that are totally free, by the way. But if I try to go for SEO for lawyers, $20 a click, but if I actually bid on the name of some of the top SEO companies, there's nobody bidding. I can get in front of, and that's literally the same person, the same buyer, but in just a different stage of the journey. So this is something that I created. And like I said, this most practical application of it is in B2B, but you can use this in anything really. Like I personally use it to go get clients, but you guys can use it for almost anything. And it's what I call shoe store targeting. So if you go with me on this idea earlier that people buy things together, dinner and a show, and we want to talk to people, if we have shoes, we want to talk to people who have closets full of shoes, and we're not trying to talk to people who logically could use our stuff, rather people who have a proven history of it. So this is what I call my shoe store targeting. And I just look at the other things they buy, and I've got this obviously optimized for people who sell like Google ads to people, but there's lots of other ways you can use this. So the first thing I look at is, are there gurus and influencers who sell courses, trainings, masterminds that people are buying, right? Like they've organized buyers often for like 10 years. Are there books in your industry? These are all side door opportunities, by the way. Are there online discussion groups and communities that have been organized? Who runs those communities, by the way? Are there professional associations and organizations, especially those of you guys who work with offline businesses? What other software and tools do they use? Right? Like if I'm, somebody was talking to me today and they help concrete people. Well, concrete people buy tools. They buy jackhammers and they buy things to break up cement, and they buy vans and they buy trucks. Like there's other things they buy, insurance, financing, right? There's things they buy that go together that are dinner and a show with what you offer. So one of the lowest hanging fruit is just find software and tools your people are buying. And then I'll show you, this is the secret weapon actually, is the big events. And the reason why the big events are kind of a secret sauce is because often those big events have what are known as exhibitors, and those are other shoe stores. So like people will go to the conference with the intention of selling related services. So if there's like a dental conference, the people selling the dentist chairs will go there. The financing companies will go there. The marketers will go there. The SEO companies will go there. And so there's lots of things for sale. And if you go to the websites of the conference, they'll often list those people. And so all of those are shoe stores. And so the way we're using this is we're using placement targeting on YouTube and taking all the other things they buy and putting it into a targeting. I'll show you guys how this works in a second. And then of course there's like competing products and services. If they're buying Google ads, they're also buying Facebook ads and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all those kind of other things, and SEO and Google reviews and all those things. And we want, again, a person who owns all of those, a closet full of shoes. It's a little bit counterintuitive. So the first thing that we typically do is I get a list of what I call all the shoe stores. In other words, like everything else they're buying. So this is an example. There's probably a little bit of sensitive information, but this is in the personal injury lawyer space. And how we're using this, I use this quite a few ways, but as far as YouTube, there's a whole column where I basically had a virtual assistant for a couple of bucks go through and find all this data. And what I do is I take all the other things my market is buying, all these YouTube channels where I have them, and I put those as the targeting. And what you guys will see is this will present all kinds of tiny little channels where there's a high number of buyers and nobody else on planet Earth is trying to advertise to these. So I'll give you one example. This is a software and tool. It is called Needles Case Management. Now, this is something used by the top law firms. It's like a CRM. And it's a tiny little hole in the wall YouTube channel. It's got 247 subscribers. And I'm actually not running ads to this right now because we're not trying to pick up more lawyers. But I have in the past ran a whole bunch of ads to this channel as well as many others. But again, there's 13,000 people who've watched this Needles Case Manager. That's a small thing in terms of like total amount of YouTube traffic. But who is watching this? And the answer is buyers, right? They're either buying a case management software or considering and about to buy a case management. So this is highly valuable buyer traffic. And again, what we do is we just take hundreds and hundreds of these little channels, and I call this my shoe store targeting, but it's really just simple. We're just doing the research. If you don't know the answer to these, you can Google them, by the way. Who are the gurus and influencers? What books are they reading? Again, do those people have channels, right? Like, are there communities? Do channels exist for those? Are there associations and organizations? What software and tools? And I'll show you an easy way to do this research. Super, super easy. What are the big events they go to? What are some of the competing products and services? So this is the step one, and this is the step that takes all the work, by the way. It'll take you a couple hours. I've never found a way. I usually have a virtual assistant do it for me just on Fiverr. I pay them like $10, and they'll go through and they'll get a list of all the buyer channels. I want them to research. Who are the gurus and influencers? What are their channels? What books are they reading? And I get a list of all these like micro targeting channel options. And then we're just firing that into our Google Ads targeting. So I'm going to give you guys the shortcut, which is the conference and exhibitors. Everybody who speaks at a conference and the exhibitors are all shoe stores. Like they're going to these conferences because they sell stuff at the conferences. And a lot of the bigger players that you're going to want to target their traffic go to conferences in your industry. It doesn't matter, by the way, whether you're B2B or B2C, there is a conference in your industry and there is stuff being sold at it and you want to know what that is. So I'm going to show you the shortcut, the mega super duper shortcut, which is if you guys are not already on Chat GTP, you can do this for you. So there is a free plugin with Chat GTP called Web Chat GTP. So when you click this, I'm going to enable it and let's assume it will work. Where do I go with that? Sorry, this is the plugin here. I got too many tabs open, as you can tell, but I'm sure you guys understand that quite well. So what Web Chat GTP does, it allows you to scan search results and then have Chat GTP organize it for you. So let's say, for example, and anybody can do this. Here's a prompt I'm going to give you guys. Can you tell me, can you give me a list of all, or I shouldn't say it, give me a list of the conferences. And I'm going to use personal injury lawyer because that's an industry we worked in, but you could do this for anybody. You could do this for dentists. You could do this for home and garden. You could do this if you're selling handbags. You could, like fashion conferences. There's any way you can do this. Give me a list of conferences a personal injury lawyer would go to grow their business. So here's what we do. We just hit enter on this. Web Chat GTP will plug in a list of like current search results automatically. And so it feeds that information to Chat GTP. And you just wait a second and it'll tell you, here are all the conference. The Summit for National Solo Law Firms, the American Association for Justice, the American Bar Association meeting, Mass Torts Made Perfect. So let's say, I happen to already know this, but let's say you didn't know this already. You can click on this and they got a website, and often, not always 100% of the time, but often they have a list of like everybody who's going to go there. So like the main speakers will have like their targeting options, because they sell stuff and they have like groups of buyers. Also, like all of the testimonials, these are like people who proudly saying like, I bought shoes at the shoe store. So let's just see if they have a list of exhibitors. They may or may not. So often they'll say like sponsors. So there you go. So it looks like they don't put this one directly on the website. Here they go. Actually, you can see like Consumer Attorney Marketing Group, Tort Experts, Broughton Partners, Golf Simulator, I don't know, the Lake Law Firm, Exalts, Crisp Video. All of these, by the way, like some of these are actual targeting we're using, Crisp Video, Filevine, Smart Advocate. They all have like YouTube channels. And who goes to their channels? People who buy from them and or people who are considering buying from them. So you can take all of these things for the most part and turn them into targeting options, as well as the speakers as well. So like usually they'll have a section, not always, not all these websites are all like easy to navigate, but the speakers, especially the ones, it looks like this one has some like celebrity speakers. I would probably skip the celebrity speakers and just focus on the people who are like, you know, actually in the industry, like industry experts. But there's a ton of them here. Like there's no shortage of people that, and at least some of these people will have little tiny hole in the wall YouTube channels that have a high degree of buyers. So this is the secret is, and again, this is just having a virtual assistant. You go on Fiverr, you have them figure out who these people are and whether or not they have a YouTube channel. Takes a couple hours, by the way. And again, you can have ChatGPT help you with the service. I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's not what this is about. But I just wanted to show you, if you reverse engineer the buyers and then we're going to put that targeting into Google Ads, what the outcome of that will be is you'll get a whole bunch of clicks. It will not cost you a lot of money, and it'll be buyers. I always say like only about 5 to 10% of your market is actually buying right now. And you want to be 100% known by the 5 or 10% who do all the buying and spend all the money. So this is what we typically do. As I mentioned, I get all this info, put it in a spreadsheet, and get a list of all the YouTube channels. I do other targeting as well besides Google Ads. So there's more in there than Google Ads. I also get their website, their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter. I get all of those things. I get their mailing address because we use different ways of marketing to these people. But most of you guys can make a lot of money just reverse engineering their YouTube channels. So I want to show you quickly just some of the fill in the blank details. So as far as the ads themselves, all we're running is what I call a hand raiser. And a hand raiser is a summary of what we're offering. And it is just like a walk and talk video. There is no professional polishing. There's no microphone. It's just me on a YouTube or on a thing. And I'll give you an example. This is not a perfect version, but let's say I'm trying to advertise to dentists and I got an SEO or I got a Google Ads service. I would say, hey, this is Frankie here. And if you're a dentist, we figured out a really cool way to help you get ranked using our dental SEO service. If you'd like to find out more about how that works, click the link below this video and I will show you step by step how you can get your website ranked above all the competition and dental practices in your area. Nothing crazy, right? Like it's very, very simple. That's probably not the best version of it, but they're just little one-take videos. Like I'm not doing anything crazy at all. So as you can see, it's just a little 1-minute vertical video, me walking or talking in my yard, standing in front of the pool because that's the not windy spot in my backyard. And that's it, really. There's not really that much to it. So I want to show you guys really like just the campaign settings, but bear in mind that Google changes these constantly. So I don't want you guys to think this is like set in stone or whatever. But I just want to show you like where the important settings are so you guys can set up your campaigns. Most of this stuff actually doesn't matter. So when you're clicking all these different campaigns and options, what I do, and I'm not actually going to take this ad all the way to live. I just want to show you guys the settings because I'm not, but this is a little bit counterintuitive, but you're clicking brand awareness and reach, which is usually not a campaign objective you would normally try and do. Like most times you're going to go for leads and sales, but this will convert to leads and sales if you do this right. Mostly because of who's watching your videos, right? It's a high number of buyers. So when you get here, it's going to give you the option of display or video. We click video. And then for the most part, like most of the settings, I just keep video reach, effective reach. I don't change much there. So obviously you're going to want to give your campaign. I'm like really anal about like numbering my campaign. So like campaign 12, and then I call it what it is. So let's pretend we're like dental SEO, buyer micro targets. And by the way, there's endless numbers of these super cheap, and I'm not even, so I like to set my stuff as daily. By the way, you can actually produce results with this for as little as $1 a day. So I think that'll blow your mind for a lot of people, because I know like with search, you need at least a few $1,000s minimum to make any damage. But with this stuff, like you won't save the world with $1 a day, but you can actually make like quite a bit of impact with just $1 a day, $5 a day, $10 a day. Small budgets can have big impacts using this strategy. The last ad I ran was a real estate ad. So enter another location. I don't even like focus really on countries and territories, because I know that the channels are mostly buyers, so I don't really try and filter it. This is the part that really matters, is when you get to like where you're going to target. Is in here, there's a section for placements. And unfortunately, this is kind of like tedious, to be honest with you, is you have to take these channels and put them in one by one into here. So let's say, just for example, I'm going to target my own YouTube channel. Let's see if I'm even big enough to target. See if YouTube will let me. Again, a small little micro channel. Let's see if I can run ads to my channel. Yes. And so you can click on that and you can add the channel here. And so what you got to do is just, or you can have a virtual assistant do this for you as well, but you add all the channels one by one here. Whoops. I don't think I clicked the right button. There we go. For some reason, it's not showing. Huh, weird. Probably just because my channel's so small, to be honest, but usually most of these channels, they will let you target, and you just put them in. You just one by one and then hit enter, and then they'll appear over here. And then the next piece is you need to actually upload a video to YouTube. Like there's lots of stuff that can walk you through that. That's kind of like beyond what I'm showing you guys here. But all you do is put in your video. It'll ask you where you want to send the traffic to. Now, this is another secret, is if you keep the traffic domestically on YouTube, meaning you send somebody from a YouTube ad to another YouTube video, YouTube tends to give you like really, really cheap clicks. As you can see, like my video here has had like 267,000 views. I haven't paid very much money to have like almost 300,000 views to be put in front of buyers. But if you keep your funnel, whatever your funnel is, whatever process you use to convert people domestically in YouTube, the clicks will usually be about 10 cents as much. So if I was driving this off my site, those clicks would probably cost me about 50 cents. But by keeping them on YouTube, this is the other secret, is we get them for like 5 cents. And then all you got to do is like put in a final URL and name your ad. And then that's basically, the last thing is they put a target CPM. I usually just start with $1 and it'll tell me whether or not my ads will work. And you click on create campaign. Now, I'm not actually going to follow this through to the end, because this is just kind of a dummy campaign just to show you guys the setting. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is there are so many of these fucking side door opportunities. It'll literally blow your mind once you realize they're there. This dinner and a show, you'll realize people who buy your show buy dinner other places, and there'll be like a million cheap dinner opportunities for you to advertise it using this methodology. It's literally limitless. When I first found out like you can do all of this kind of like micro targeting, I was like, holy shit, like this is the holy grail. I can get in front of buyers. I don't have to spend a lot of money and get huge traffic volumes. And it's only like seen by the buyers. So like I said, it's a little bit of upfront work, but I hope that's super helpful to you guys. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I won't go too much into this, but this is a topic for another day, but some people ask us like, Does the traffic convert? How does it convert? What are you guys doing to do that? The answer is yes, the traffic converts. And how we're doing that is something I call a 5-minute Loom video. And it's a methodology I created that basically came out of doing 1,000 sales calls to sell like digital marketing services. And I started to notice there were patterns, like every sales call is kind of the same. So what I have you guys do in that like kind of journey is just take the 80-20 of a sales call, like the 4 or 5 things you're going to get asked. Like the wording changes, but there's like 4 or 5 things they want to know in every single sales call. And we've helped a lot of folks do that. So if you guys are interested in getting our help with that, I'm going to put a link. It is a paid thing we have to that, but I also have like a free training, a lighter version you guys can do on YouTube. If you guys don't have the budget or whatever, to help you actually convert the traffic. And for most of you guys selling digital marketing services, like you literally just need one client to like make your investment back 20 times. So it's like, it's a no-brainer. And we've helped like quite a number of people to do that. But that is our secret sauce, is taking an irresistible offer, putting it together in a way that's basically the 80-20 of a sales call, just making it a little 5-minute video. And then all we're doing is putting a YouTube ad in front of the buyers, summarizing our offer, driving them to the video, and then the video does the converting, and then people reach out ready to work with us, and they're pre-sold without a phone call, meaning they actually like pay us without even having to jump on the phone. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I will put a link for that below. You guys can check that out and see if that is a fit for you. In the meantime, go find some fucking cheap traffic opportunities. Go get some of these awesome, like super cheap 5-cent deals for yourself. Like there's no shortage of them, and you can get tons of them. And part of the reason why we use YouTube, because it lets us choose our targeting, and we can put all our placements on all of the places where our buyers go, right? All the in front of the and like I mentioned with other things, it's like, hey, sometimes advertising your show doesn't work, but there's tons of places they eat dinner at. Advertise, and then one step later they'll come to you. So hope that's helpful to you guys. Hope that's awesome. I hope you guys, your mind is blown as much as mine was when I first realized this. And that's all I got for you guys. May the force be with you. Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll probably also like our free Facebook group, Beyond Agency Profits, Agency Lifestyle Design. You can get free copies of the book inside here. I look ridiculous. We're doing weekly Q&As, giving answers to all your questions. Some of the best, smartest, brightest people. We've got lots of industry leaders doing 7, 8 figures and beyond. It's a literal who's who of the brightest agency owners that I know, as well as lots of tips on scaling and stuff, books that work. So if you're not already part of it, you're going to want to be part of it. So make sure to click the link. I put it in the description of the video, as well as in the pinned top comment below. So just scroll down and you can join, and it's totally free.